Hello guys, a very good afternoon to everyone. It's a very bright Monday afternoon. It's the 9th of February 2026. So welcome to this Outlook session with me. And we're going to be looking at some of the pairs, like an update of some of the pairs that we had last week and an outlook of what I'm expecting for in the markets this week. So last week, I remember we had, or like rather, our focus and emphasis was on pair like GBP USD, NZD USD. We had a bit of Euro USD as well. USDCAD, USDCHF. We're gonna get to talk about how those pairs went on and how what we are looking out for on this week. So for GBP USD, the targets were hit. For NZD USD, price moved about like 120 pips, then retraced back to supply. So we'll be able to have a look at that, and then now we'll be able to gauge and see where is it that we are expecting to see prices go to these start of this week. So welcome on board, guys. Welcome on board, everyone. So starting off, you can see this is the Chase private Discord right here. Let me just move to the start of these analyses. So don't forget you can easily get to check out the blog right here. I'll actually be posting this video as well right here on the blog, so um you can easily be able to go check it out and also get to do your analysis. All right. So starting off, we have GBP USD right there. So GBP USD was one of the major pairs that we had last week. And remember that our target for these was now during the drop we had from here. And our major target was 1.35590, of which the target was hit. This was the target. Now price got into this demand. All right. So we had this is a very key level of demand because it was a previous supply, then now forms the range from this demand all the way to these highs and back to this demand. That range was filled. So now we now see price pushing to the upside. And that is after now this range has already been filled. We've seen price form rejection wicks with candle closes inside the zone. Then we had a push to the upside with a candle close above demand, showing a potential bullish push. And now we are seeing this kind of scenario confirming the bullish reversal. And with this one, I'm expecting to see price rally all the way to these highs here. And there's these areas of 1.37500 areas based off this. All right. So I'm looking at prices coming to those areas of interest. Let's wait and see how price gets to react to this. All right. Let's observe and see. How price gets to react to this. All right. So these are the areas of 1.37500, 1.37500 areas. So far, we're already seeing quite some momentum into this. Started during London session, and definitely I'm expecting to see more momentum even into New York session. So we had sells for these last week. Now we're having buys for this week. Expect to see price rally all the way to 1.37500. For guys who'll probably miss 1.37500, your next area of interest is, let's say, 1.37200 areas. So it's just a slight difference of about like 30 pips on that one, right? So we have that. Then we have Euro USD. So for Euro USD again, also the target was hit because the target was 1.17900. Then now this is the bullish reversal. And I remember last week I mentioned about anticipating a potential bullish reversal after the European Central Bank released their monetary policy statement and the interest rates, and they maintained their rates. So we had a slight bit of accumulation here. I'll call this accumulation. Then now you're seeing a push to the upside. Remember the range you're working with is this was a previous supply, but it was not retested as demand. Same thing with GU. So that is why we are seeing very strong pushes from these levels because they are fresh levels of demand. When a supply is broken, and then it is not retested. When price comes back to that area, usually expect some very strong pushes because of the reversal. Okay, because they're usually fresh levels of supply and demand. All right, so you have this kind of scenario, a strong push to the upside all the way to these highs of 1.2500, then a retracement back down to this demand, then that range gets filled, then you see a very strong push to the upside. So for EURUSD again, also for this one, expect to see price rally all the way to back to these highs of 1.2500 areas for that range to be filled. Then from there, we can now anticipate to see, will you see price break above and keep pushing higher? Or sorry, so will you see price keep pushing higher back to 1.2500? That is what I'm expecting to see. Then at this area, we can now be able to determine if price is gonna hold. Okay, at this level, you'll be able to determine if price is going to hold, or this level, you're going to determine if price is going to hold or if it's going to break above. But this is quite some very good, this is quite some very good pips. It's actually a very good zone to move ratio because you're looking at from here all the way till these are solid 245 pips. Let's say 240 pips even. Okay, so 240 pips is quite a good move. All right, and considering I am a swinger and majority of the people that I usually interact with are also swingers, so these are very good. These are very good move. It has a very good zone to move ratio, so make sure you take advantage of that. All right, so push all the way back to that. Then let's see what you have on USDCAD. You have USDCAD. Hmm. There's USDCAD still pushing to the downside. Now, remember last week we were bullish on this, and this is when you had price rallying all the way to this. It missed out the target by very few pips because the target was based off these highs here. So the working range is from this supply all the way down to this demand or these lows and back to these. So that range was filled. Price missed the target by very few pips. And now you're seeing price getting to reverse. You're seeing price getting to reverse and pushing to the downside. So I will be anticipating to see. Don't mind the background noise. I think there's a bit of background noise. If there is some, there's quite a bit of background noise. I think some construction going on. So, but anyway, we are still pushing to the downside, expecting to see price push to the downside lower all the way down to these areas back to these lows because I'm looking at price breaking below these and pushing all the way down to the levels of 1.35 thousand, right? So looking at prices coming to the areas of 1.35 thousand. That is on USDCAD. Let's have a look at USDCHF. USDCHF. Mm, there's USDCHF as well. So for this one, we've seen price rally to these highs. We have these highs right here. I was looking at price coming to these areas of 0.78, 590 areas, but instead we saw a drop to the downside, then a push to these areas here. Just a second. Mm. Yeah, so sorry about that. I had to minimize the noise. I think there's some construction going somewhere around here, so it's really noisy. So, this is what you have. We have a reaction from here. We had, a push to the downside. So I will expect to see that reaction happening from 0.78590 areas up here. But instead, price has reacted from these highs, pushing to this. Then now we have a drop to the downside. All right, we have a drop to the downside all the way back down to 0.76, 0.76 to 100 areas. Okay. Coming back to these areas of 0.76 to 100 based off these lows. So we have that. Let's wait and see how price gets to react to this. All right. So we have that on USDCHF. Then let's have a look at NZD/USD. Mhm. So there is NZD/USD. Remember, we were looking at price. This was our setup. This was our setup. Just so this was our setup right here. All right. So we had price pushing to the downside. This was our setup from this level here, 0.6500. All right. So we had price rallying all the way to this supply because again our working range was from this demand all the way rallying to this supply. Then from this supply, we had a push to the downside, a retest of supply, then another strong push to the downside all the way back to these areas here. So at this level, at 0.59500, this was a solid, let's see how many pips. This was a solid 100 pips on this one. Then price retraced all the way back, and I'm looking at it coming back to these areas of 0.6500. The moment price comes back to this level, I'd want to see how price reacts at this area because this can still be a very good area of supply for potential sells. So this can be still a very good area of supply for potential sells. Remember, this is a key area based off the 4 hour. This is a key area based off the 4 hour and the daily time frame. All right. Can see this is a key hour. This is a key area based off the 4 hour and the daily time frame, right? So we have this. Let's wait and see how price gets to react to this. But this can be a very good level of it's going to be a very good level of supply, right? So that is on NZD/USD. Then let's have a look at Euro GBP. So there is Euro GBP. Again, for this one, the range was filled we had a range from this supply to demand, then supply again, back to demand. So we had these have been our working range from this supply to this demand, from demand all the way back to supply, from supply back to demand, from demand, a push up, a retest then, a strong push all the way back, and I'm expecting to see price coming all the way to these areas of 0.87, 380 areas for that range to be filled. All right, so let's wait and see how price gets to. Let's wait and see how price gets to react to that. All right. So we have that on Euro GBP. Then let's have a look at oil. So let's have a look at oil. Both we have US oil. We have US oil and UK oil. So let me have UK oil right here on the side. UK oil right there. Then I'll talk about the indices. So here is US oil. So for US oil, let me zoom out like this so that you're able to just see it clearly. So for US oil, you can see this demand has held for quite a while. This demand area here, because you had the drop from this supply to this demand, then from this demand back to supply, from this supply all the way back to this demand like that. All right. So now at this demand, we expect to see a push to the upside, at least back to these supply at 65.60 areas, back to this level. All right. Remember the major range we've been working with is from this supply all the way down to this demand. Then from demand, from demand all the way to this supply. That is the major range. But within the major range we have minor ranges, and now the minor range is from this demand back to this supply at 65.60 areas. All right. So let's see how price reacts to this. Then for UK oil is the same thing. The here right here. So for UK oil you have from this demand all the way to this supply. Price breaks above, pushes down, breaks above again. So this one I'm looking at a potential break above on this one for UK oil, right? We are looking at a potential break above and price pushing higher to the upside, right? First area of interest is this area of 70. The next area of interest is this area of 72.90, or let's say even 72.70 areas. based off these highs right here. All right. So we have that. Then let's have a look at NAS and US30. So here is Nasdaq. There is Nasdaq there. Then I have US30. There is US30. To US30, you already tapped a new all-time high at 50,000. Let me first cover NAS, then I come to US30. So for Nasdaq, you can see what you have here. So NAS, you have a very strong, we had a very strong push to the upside. Price is back at this area. So at this area, what I'd want to see is a potential bullish push back to these areas of 25,700 areas. Okay, that is the area I'm expecting to see. It's the same case with what happened here when price rallied. We had a push retest of this then. Price rallied all the way to this next supply area within these levels here. So even for this one, I'm expecting to see price rally to these areas of 25,500, right? 25,500. So let's observe and see. Let's observe and see how price gets to react to this, right? I'm expecting a bullish push on that. Then for US30, we've already tapped into the areas of 50,200 areas. So I'd want to see price retrace back to 49,700 or 600 because this was the previous all-time high. So a retest of the previous all-time highs, right? A retest of the previous all-time highs before potential continuation of the rally higher. So that means a retest of 49,600, then you see price pushing to the upside and forming higher highs or forming new highs. Right, so we have that. Let's wait and see how price gets to react to these on US30. I'm waiting for that retracement, 49,600 areas or 700. Then a strong push to the upside. Then lastly, we have silver, Xagusd. So here for silver, this is what you have. So we saw price coming down to this level of 72 and 70. These areas down here. So these are very key area of demand. We've seen price rally to this. So I want to see how price reacts at this area. We might see probably a slight push to the downside before now, a break above, and price coming to these areas of 92. So I'm looking at price coming to these areas of 92. Then at this area, I would expect something like this before now, another push to the upside, right? So let's see how price reacts to that. I'm curious to have a look at gold as well. XUUSD, let's see. Yeah, there is gold as well. So gold actually went quite well. We had a nice push all the way to 5,077, which was this area, and it was from this demand area here. You can see this demand level here. So we had a nice push all the way to this. Then price dropped. Now price is back again at this area. So at this level, I want to see if this zone holds, then definitely I'd expect a slight bearish push to the downside. But if this zone doesn't hold, I'd expect to see a break above. But as long as you're still below this zone, expect a slight bearish push. Probably back to these 4,700 areas. But if price breaks above these, we'll see something like a scenario like this. So this zone is the determinant factor. How price reacts at this level is the determinant factor, or of whether we will be looking at potential shorts for this, or a potential break above, a retest, and a continuation of the rally higher, right? So we have that is what I'm looking out for. This week I've given you updates on the setup that I was looking out for last week. I'm also gonna be sharing now the nitty-gritties or the updated in terms of like structure and how to trade manage and how to enter these right here on Discord for the private members, right? So with that, guys, I'd like to wish you all a very amazing start of your week. Today is Monday, so I'd like to wish you all a very amazing start of your week. And as we get even to progress on with the week, may we get very fruitful and productive opportunities in the markets. So with that, guys, cheers everyone, stay blessed and stay financially literate, and we get to catch up on the next one. So cheers, guys.